Hello, my name is Nicolás Bohorquez and I am going to present my Quimestral exam. In this exam, I am trying to resolve two questions. First question: how were education and life changed during the pandemic? Life and education during the pandemic had a radical change in every way. Classes, for starters, went from being a place where you live and have a good time with your classmates to being a monotonous and boring place where you enjoy because it was your turn. The methodology changed and was not the same. I will not say that the teachers did not make an effort to change, only that it did not work because probably there was not interest on the part of the students and there is no way to blame. They were deprived of something important such as the social environment. And if the classes were not interested or did not call their attention, it was logical that they were not going to invest that extra energy in it. Life as well as the classes where you could go out and live with other people had to change. We had to isolate ourselves and move away from any social contact for fear of not getting sick because the situation was serious. It is still serious, but it has been normalized at little. The change of being away from home a lot to things sit locked up in your house all the time can be somewhat energy change, and well, I guess you have to adapt to change because unlike what the people think, you cannot restore to former normality because everything has already happened. The completely different family gatherings if we saw each other was by Zoom or video call. My family, at least if it affected them a lot, my family was very used to seeing each other every Sunday. And suddenly everything changed, everyone look up at least a companion. I feel that in this confinement you could not have the other part of the personality that many people hide as if you know better the person with whom you live. Everything changed. From the way we rate, we went from shaking hands to shaking hands, and we had to distance ourselves at least 2 meters to avoid contagion. It seems that is not much, but in reality, it is not as little as it seems. Other thing that changed our way of washing our hands changed. It turns out that something we do so often we don't even know how to do well, and we had to change that, we had to improve. The hospitals, we are full of fear and panic, scared doctors, and had to employ special teams to deal with the crisis. Many retired doctors went back to work to help in these situations of shortage of hands and medicines. Some cases had not even gone to work and receive a salary. But I think this was only in Ecuador, but I still couldn't confirm anything. Um, Many people died because they did not know how to control the pandemic, how to report it correctly. Many lost their friends and loved ones due to small mistakes. In itself, it's fine. It was a good experience and a good story to tell. But I think it was enough, and I think we all had to do our part to overcome these moments and get ahead. How did education and life change during the national strike? As in the pandemic, from the normality that we already had, everything suddenly stopped again. Only now it is different. Before there was the possibility of going out. Now, if we go out, we find closed roads with demonstrations and in general danger. In that, they are fighting for the majority of the country, and at a certain point, this is fine, and I have no problem. I may not like some things, but after all, that isn't what they are doing. However, that does not mean that I fully support some practices that are used. If we talk about education, we went back to that what was the pandemic. But I think you can blame us. They gave us something to rate as face-to-face classes, but we have to admit that the virtual ones don't even reach their heels. You don't feel the adrenaline of being there, and you have to learn things to not look bad. Being dependent of Google and everything that is on the internet. I sincerely believe that testing just all the time is the best way for just to learn. If we talk about the social thing all over again, what if relationships were very good, everyone back to their homes and to live with their families? It is fun, but it feels like something is missing. After all, we are already starting to have a more social life again. And maybe at least we already have the experience of the confinement. And we are not so desperate, at least in this area. But I don't think so. The closed roads are a mobility problem, really for the entire population, because it takes away the access to certain areas of the city, such as the entrances and exits of Quito. This makes it impossible to move people to other parts of the city, making everything be closed again but differently, but just like the pandemic. This time going out is different. It is not like you're in danger of contracting a deadly virus, but maybe you can return home until very late and you may feel scared. My dad these days had to go out and to return. All the ways to go into my house were closed, making it impossible for him to get there. He had to wait in traffic until 3 a.m. and since he was there since 4 p.m. Unfortunately, this is a complicated problem because it will not stop until there is a solution between the two sides. As in the pandemic, we went back to overpricing products and seeing people overbuying products making them scarce. That same desperation that we had supposedly overcome just appear again. So, did we learn anything from the pandemic? It depends. Many people learn that in times of crisis you have to keep calm, but others just continue to despair and maintain the same somewhat childish behavior. The curious thing is that we are living again an encirclement, but not even what caused the first one. It was only controlled but a little. It was heard that whereas was going to be an upturn and after the strike, it is obvious that there will be many hospitals will be full because although the vaccine does not make you die from the COVID, it does not prevent your body from being affected very strongly by this. In the end, the organisms are different and can be affected in different ways. And about the attitudes kept taken at what you are showing. I don't like the way things are developing. The march are stopped with repression and violence when it should be that there should be a dialogue.